Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and get straight to the heart of some, well, really fascinating topics. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the world of the Canidae family. They're often misunderstood, but truly majestic and incredibly diverse. Our source today is 10 absolutely majestic Canidae family members from 10mosttoday.com. And really, our goal here is simple. Clear up confusion, maybe share some surprising facts, and just give you a really clear picture of these amazing animals.
That's right. Because the Canidae family tree,
Yeah.
it can be a bit confusing. Sometimes people mix things up, which animals belong where. So this deep dive, hopefully it'll clear up some of those common misconceptions, give you a few aha moments, and, well, sort of a shortcut to getting a good handle on this corner of the animal kingdom. We'll pull out the really key stuff from the source.
Okay, good. Let's unpack this then, right from the beginning. Before we even jump into the list of animals, we probably need some basic definitions sorted out. Because I think people hear canine and Canidae and might think they're the same thing, but they're not, right? What's the difference?
That's a really crucial starting point. And the source does spell it out. So according to Merriam-Webster, a canine, it's actually just a conical pointed tooth, specifically the one between the incisor and the first premolar.
Okay, so a canine is a tooth.
Exactly, just a tooth. But Canidae, ending in DAE, that refers to the whole biological family. The definition is a family of carnivorous mammals that includes dogs, wolves, jackals, and foxes. Understanding that difference really helps, place all these animals we're about to talk about on their family tree.
Right, that makes perfect sense already. Clears things up immediately. So that sets us up nicely for our journey through these 10 majestic Canidae family members. We're counting down from 10 to 1. Get ready, because there are definitely some surprising ones on this list. Okay, starting us off at number 10. We have the bat-eared fox. These guys are, well, they're awesome to look at. And you immediately see the name fits. Those ears are huge. But what's really interesting about them, beyond just the look?
Yeah, those ears are definitely the first thing you notice.
Yeah.
But what's truly fascinating, and the source points this out, isn't just the size, it's how they use them. They're adapted for a very specific hunting style. Those huge ears, they're for listening for insects like termite larvae underground. They can actually hear them moving. Sometimes they even stomp to make the prey move so they can locate it.
Wow, listening for food underground? That's incredible. Way more than just looking cool. Okay, number 9 is the jackal. The source description is kind of like a cross between a fox and a coyote. They're known as scavengers, and the article mentions they'll pretty much take a bite out of anything they find. What does that scavenger rule actually mean, ecologically speaking?
Right. Describing them as scavengers,
Yep.
it highlights a really vital role they play. It means they mostly feed on carrion, so animals that are already dead, which is, super important for cleaning up the environment, helps prevent disease spread. They're kind of like the cleanup crew, often coming in after bigger predators have made a kill. So yeah, really indispensable.
The cleanup crew. Makes sense. All right, number 8. This one's going to be much more familiar to a lot of people. The Siberian Husky. The article calls them beloved dogs. You see them in plenty of homes. Very, very fun pets. What does having a husky on this list tell us about the Canidae family overall?
Well, it really shows the sheer range, doesn't it? In this one family, you have the husky, which is, domesticated dog, bred for work in the cold, known for being playful. And it stands in such stark contrast to some of the wilder members we're talking about, the ones still to come. Their jury, from like an Arctic working breed to a global family pet. It just showcases the adaptability and the potential for that human-animal bond within this family, even while their wild cousins stay completely wild.
Yeah, quite the contrast. Okay, so from the home back out into the wild for number 7, the coyote. The source is pretty clear here. These are canids you definitely want to keep your distance from in their natural habitat. They're also scavengers, like the jackal, and apparently come in different sizes. What's particularly noteworthy about coyotes?
Keep your distance is good advice.
Yeah.
The source mentions their adaptability, and that's really the key thing with coyotes. Yes, they scavenge, but they're also very opportunistic predators. They can hunt smaller animals too. But what's really striking is how they thrive everywhere. Deserts, forests, even right in dense cities. It's a testament to how smart and resilient they are. Probably one of the most successful canids in North America, actually.
You do hear about them in cities sometimes. Amazing adaptability. Okay, number 6, The African wild dog.
Yeah.
Very distinct look on this one, almost like someone splashed paint on their coats, but they still look really majestic. The source says they're hunting dogs running in packs, but it also flags something really important about them.
Yes, that painted look is unmistakable. And this is where it gets really interesting, like the source highlights. African wild dogs, they're endangered. That's the critical detail. And what makes that even more, well, compelling is their hunting strategy. It's incredibly sophisticated. They work together in these packs with amazing coordination. Some researchers even talk about them using, get this, democratic sneeze votes to decide when to start a hunt.
Wait, sneeze votes? Seriously?
Seriously. It shows this incredible level of social complexity, sort of like what you see in primates. It makes their endangered status feel even more urgent, you know?
Wow. Okay, sneeze votes. That's one to remember. All right, sliding into number 5, we have the dingo. And the source makes a very strong point here. Do not confuse these with domestic dogs. They are wild animals found mainly in Australia. Why is that distinction so important for dingoes?
It's absolutely vital. And yeah, the material really hammers this home because they look quite dog-like, right? But the dingo is a perfect example of a wild canid that, despite maybe some past interactions or attempts at taming, is fundamentally wild. Genetically, the source underscores they're distinct from domestic dogs.
Yeah.
They've been evolving separately for like thousands of years. So yeah, they might look familiar, but approaching one in the wild, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Definitely not a pet.
Got it. Wild, not domestic. Very clear. Number 4 takes us to an animal with a name that's just confusing. The raccoon dog. What's the deal here? What's the biggest misconception, and why is it such a surprise in the Canidae family?
Right. This one is a classic aha moment, just like the source explains. So contrary to that name, the raccoon dog is absolutely not related to the raccoon, not even close.
Not a raccoon, but it is a Canidae.
It is definitely in the Canidae family, yes. But here's the really surprising part. Genetic studies show it's on a very old, unique branch of the family tree, kind of closer to the early divergence points. The article even mentions it's sometimes linked closer to hyenas in certain analyses than to, say, a typical fox. Even though it's a Canidae, it just perfectly shows how looks and names can fool you in the animal world.
Linked closer to a hyena. That is genuinely mind-blowing. Okay, number 3 now. The absolutely stunning Arctic fox. Just a remarkable animal. That incredible thick coat, how it changes color, those sharp features, just captivating. How do those looks relate to its environment?
Yeah, beautiful animal. And it's a total master of survival in those extreme conditions. The article really paints that picture, that super dense coat. It gives amazing insulation, like down to minus 58 Fahrenheit. It can handle that.
Yep.
And beyond the coat, look at the smaller details, the small rounded ears, the short snout that all minimizes heat loss. Plus, changing color, brown or gray in summer, pure white in winter. Perfect camouflage against the snow. They aren't just pretty features. They're absolutely crucial for survival up there.
Survival tools, not just good looks. Makes sense. Okay, next up, number 2. The fennec fox. Instantly recognizable again, those huge, distinctive ears. They look quite adorable, and the source says they're pretty playful. But are they pets, despite looking so cute?
Yeah, those ears are something else. And they do look incredibly charming, very playful apparently. But, and this is the crucial advice from the source, they are still wild animals. Those giant ears, not just for show. They're super efficient at radiating heat away, keeping the fox cool in the desert. And like the bat-eared fox, they help pinpoint prey underground. So, yeah, they might look like cartoon characters, but they're perfectly engineered for the desert. The article is clear. Definitely don't recommend approaching them, no matter how cute they seem.
Right. Engineered for the desert, not for cuddles. Good to remember. And that brings us to number 1, taking the top spot. The powerful Arctic wolf. This is a strong, fierce animal, no doubt about it. But that incredible white coat, its whole appearance, it almost softens that fierce image a bit. What makes the Arctic wolf number 1 on this list?
Yeah, powerful is definitely the word. Its position at the top, as the source implies, isn't just about looks, though they are striking. It's about its role as a true apex predator. It sits right at the top of the food chain in its environment. That means it plays a vital role in keeping that whole ecosystem healthy and balanced, by managing the populations of herbivores. The source's final note is pretty direct. The Arctic wolf is not to be messed with. It's pure strength, instinct, a creature that commands respect. It really embodies the power, the adaptability, and that untamed beauty we see across the whole Canidae family.
What a list. An incredible journey, really, through this diverse family.
Right.
From the Siberian husky we might see on a walk, to the super adapted Arctic fox, those pack-hunting African wild dogs with their sneeze votes, and the shocker of the raccoon dog. It really shows how understanding these differences, these details, it just enriches how we see the natural world, right? Helps us appreciate all the connections.
Absolutely. And I think what's truly fascinating here, when you step back, is seeing that huge diversity all within one family. All these distinct adaptations, the sometimes surprising classifications, the different roles they play. It just highlights how intricate the web of life on our planet really is. This deep dive, it shows this classification is useful, helps us see relationships, but also sometimes appearances or even just a common name like raccoon dog can be incredibly deceiving. It kind of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How many other things we assume about nature might be hiding equally surprising truths, just waiting for us to take a closer look.